folks, welcome to the channel. I'm already halfway through this build because I hand forged this blade at Maker Camp, but the guard and the handle are pretty unique, so I figured I'd take you along for the ride. The guard and upper part of the handle for this are going to be made out of steel, and it's going to kind of puzzle piece into the handle. For the guard, we're going to be using mild steel, but we're going to do a hot blue solution and literally change it blue because the handle material is going to be this beautiful blue burl, and they're going to fit nicely together in this little puzzle. So I got my pattern cut out for the guard and the handle. Now what I'm going to do is put this on here. Okay, and what I'm actually going to do is drill a hole here because I want this to be a perfect circle. So I'm going to end up drilling a hole here, probably it looks like about a 1/2-inch hole. And then I'll just do these arcs and the rest of it. I'm going to keep this basically in a block until I get this handle fit perfectly within it. Then I'll slot the guard, start to shape it, and start to shape the handle. Alright, we got our hole drilled, ended up being 7/16. Now I'm just going to trace around this and then we'll cut it out. So I did some rough grinding on this guy just to profile it. I did some really up to 320 on this part just to make sure it was nice and smooth. Then trace this onto the wood, and I only have one shot at this, so we're going to cut it out and then hand file it slowly and keep trying to fit it in here. I'm a little worried about it breaking off since this is a burl. They can be kind of brittle, so gonna go slow and gentle. So I've been at this about an hour, just going back and forth, finally got it fitting over this, and now it's just a matter of pushing this in. It'll shave up a little bit of the wood here, and then taking it off, if I can get it off, taking it off and just kind of grinding it down. And that's why I kept this edge very sharp, so that I can just keep going and playing with this until I get it all the way on. Well, there it is, finally fitted with a nice tight fit. And some of you may be wondering, if you've seen videos about keyholes before, why I didn't press it on. And that's because I needed to remove this, because I'm going to be bluing this separately than the handle. So these two parts need to be removable. And if you press it on, you're never going to get it off, which is what you want for a keyhole, but not for this construction. Time to slot the guard. Here it is, all fit up. Looks good, except for one problem. The massive gap there. When I was cutting the slot in this, I cut it with an 1/8 inch, and then to go from the 1/8 inch cutter to the width of this was an extra 7/1000 on each side. I accidentally put 70/1000 of an inch on either side. So that's a problem. What I'm going to end up doing, I think, is to take this piece of silver that was left over from the katana build. I'm going to flatten this out and put a little plate over this with some file work. And it'll look nice, it'll be a nice little embellishment, and it'll hide my oops. So here we are so far. Handle's done, sanded to 1000. You saw me do this, so it's done. It just needs to be buffed. Now we're going to go back to this, and we're going to do some silver inlay right around this little border. So here's the guard, all buffed and shiny. Looks great. I think the silver inlay is going to come out really nice against the blue. So now we're ready to do the hot bluing. For this, we're going to be using a special chemical salt from Brownells called Niter Blue. I'm going to put a link up in the top corner to a video where I go through this in depth if you're interested in how to do this process. It's kind of sketchy. You got to do this at a pretty high temperature, close to 600 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to take this outside, heat it up, and then immerse our part after I wipe all the fingerprints off it. So I've got the blade sanded to 1500 grit. You can see the hamon now. And now we're ready to give it a little bit of a dose in ferric chloride for about 30 seconds. And then we're going to polish it, and we should really see the hamon after that. Alright, the hot bluing went really well. Now it's time to glue it up and show you guys the glamour shots.